Honestly, we deserve better. We deserve better because we kept receiving mediocre Halo games or just Halo games that doesn't really follow what the fan base wanted. And of course, some people are going to say, well, who are we to say something like this? Well, listen, the last Halo games have not sold well, and even if they have sold well, the playability has lasted about a month or three max, and then it would get straight to a downturn. Um, I just watched the Campaign Evolve trailer, and there's so many things to talk about. Now I know what you guys are gonna say. There's so many videos out there of fan people just reacting to the trailer, giving their take on it and their criticism, and there's plenty that have done a very good job. But I've noticed there are some things in this trailer that nobody is talking about, and I would love to mention it because I think it's crucial for these things to be talked about, especially now that the studio is looking for criticism since they have a year end of work to do, which is great, and I'm really happy that they're willing to take criticism from us. Now, to those saying, who am I? Well, I'm a Halo fan. I've been a Halo fan since the original Xbox. Halo CE was my first game that I bought for the Xbox, and it will remain as one of my favorite all-time games ever. The replayability is incredible. The story is incredible. Halo has so much rich lore, and I consider myself a nice veteran. So, for someone who has played Halo CE millions of times, who has played Halo in general millions of times, I think I'm equipped enough to give my take. And looking back at each game, how it has evolved, I think I could probably state to you guys what I think should be changed and what I think shouldn't be changed, or at least modified. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do shot by shot with the trailer. Um, this is the gameplay version, so it's 13 minutes long. So we're gonna go through it, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I like and what I don't like. And what I'm gonna also do, which is gonna be interesting, is that I'm gonna tell them what they could do as an alternative to turn the things we don't like into something that could be something good, right? All right, so let's begin. So, by the way, I want to say something. I know everybody said this, but I think the title sucks. Campaign Evolved, really. I understand why they did it. They want to make sure everybody knows that the Halo game that's coming out is just based on the campaign of CE and not also the multiplayer. Which, honestly, you guys think you're clever, Halo Studios, for doing something like that? It's not clever. All it does is just show it to our face. You will not get the multiplayer. You will just going to pay $80 for a remaster of the campaign, and that's honestly not a good start, man. Um, if you want this game to succeed, you need to make sure you hit every single mark that every fan base is expecting. Because to be honest, right now, the franchise is really not doing well. The last thing that we had to endure was that Halo TV show, and it was horrific from Paramount Plus. I wish it was good, but sadly it's not. This game is to try to basically get the PlayStation fan base to like Halo. But the thing is, you need the fan base lost touch with this game. If the fan base has lost touch with this game, you think PlayStation players will have an interest to try it, knowing that this glorified game is not as glorified anymore? And to be honest, most of these PlayStation fan base, okay, used to be Xbox players since the Xbox One era. But ever since Microsoft dropped the ball, ever since 343 dropped the ball, it's not looking good, man. So honestly, you guys should put multiplayer. I don't understand why you guys didn't put it. And if you're going to charge $80 for this game, which I'm assuming you will, it is a remaster. You guys have put a lot of work into this, and a lot of budget is thrown into it as well with AI as well. Yeah, man, this is going to be a big problem. What I see here is a game that's going to come out. Even if it does end up being successful, people are going to play for a month, and then they're going to forget about it. And what they're going to do is the fan base is going to go back to MCC and just keep modding the game and play on MCC and just discuss about the lore and say, oh, remember how great Halo was. That's what's going to happen if you guys don't hit the nail with this game. So yeah, I'm giving you guys this warning right now for if ever there's a developer looking at this video. All right, let's continue. All this just for a title, but it's more than the title. It's the fact we have no multiplayer. All right, we're gonna stop right here. So already, don't get me wrong, the videos is beautiful. That's something Halo Studios is going to do, is they're going to replace the cutscenes with these gorgeous animated videos, just like they did with Halo 2 Anniversary in the time, which honestly really made the game a lot more appealing for newcomers as well. And it just made the whole lore and story much more rich. So I really love the fact that they did this. However, I'm going to talk about the first criticism that I have right now, other than the title and the no multiplayer, is the fact that it's the structure right here. What is this, man? This looks like a shiny chrome Dorito. I don't like it. There was a Halo developer that left because, you know, spoiler alert, they're gonna use AI with this game for the design and the art. And honestly, it shows already. I don't like this. I don't know why you guys decided to change the original structure. The original structures were all based on this old futuristic architecture from some multimillionaire houses, which looked very creepy, but also it just felt out of this world. This, however, I don't like it. It's just over the top already. If you guys wanted to change it, at least do a good job. I don't like the fact that it's so high like this. Like, why is this so high? I don't understand. And secondly, I don't like the fact that it's so like chromy and shiny. You want to show that these structures have been around for thousands of years. So if they don't look weathered out, it removes the history behind it. It looks like a structure that was just built today, and you're showing it to us, which is not a good thing. What I do like, however, is the fact you guys added islands around the silent photographer, just to make the island look a little bigger and show there's more happening around the map. So I think that's really cool. Let's proceed. So you guys have done new designs for the Pelican, and honestly, I think it looks really nice. Chief looks stunning here. I think he looks incredible here. Even the assault rifle looks really nice. I love the cockpit for the Pelican. I think it looks really nice. Look at all the vents. Just so the Pelican can have air intakes for its engines. It looks really nice. And here we have the things to carry their missiles and whatever. I think that's really nice as well. Now, I know what you guys are going to tell me, because one of the criticisms a lot of people are saying is the fact that they don't like the design of the Marines. They wanted to design the Marines to mimic the ones that Halo CE had, which was like this dark, weathered chrome outfit, which basically it mimics the outfits of Aliens Colonial Marines. I understand why you guys feel this way. Normally, I would say, guys, it's not a big deal. But however, Halo Studios had said they're going to respectfully respect what the original game was, but then they do changes like this. So I can understand your expectations have already been hurt by showing the Pelican not being dark, by showing that the armor of the Marines do not look like the Colonial Marines and Aliens a little bit, with the green visor on one of their eyes. So I understand where you guys are coming from. For me, it's not a gigantic deal because I actually like this style. I mean, it respects the style of Halo 2, 3, and all the other Halos afterwards. So even Halo Reach, which is what this game tries to mimic the most, which I'm not surprised the engine of Halo Reach is beneath the Unreal Engine to make the game feel like Halo as you play it. So I think that's a nice touch, but I can understand again why you guys have an issue with these. So again, it all comes down to how serious it is. If I was Halo Studios, I would honestly make a poll or something to show, do you guys want the Pelican to be black? Do you guys want the Marines to look like the Colonial Marines in Halo CE? And honestly, if the polling says the majority wants the Pelican dark, then honestly just make it dark, man. You want your fan base to be pleased. I don't mind if it's dark or green. I low-key prefer it more green because it does, again, respect the other Halo games. But I know where people are coming from. So again, man, if I was Halo Studios, I would make a poll on this. This is something that I'm no different in terms of both design changes. Either it was black or green, I don't care. But that's one thing I found a bit interesting, though, in terms of Halo Studios, is that they decided to keep the style of Chief, but then they changed other things. So I don't know why they did this. I mean, I know it's probably a creative design choice, but honestly, if you're going to do CE Chief, you should do CE everything else. Or if you're gonna do Reach style on everything else, then might as well make Chief in like a Reach style armor. It also doesn't make sense. It becomes like a blender, lore wise. So I don't know why you guys would do that.
The Covenant believe that what they call the
All right. So one thing they changed with this is that they added a third Pelican instead of two. Basically, the reason they're going to do this, as we're going to see with the video, they wanted to make the battle look a lot more immersive with this video clip.
Island cartographer is somewhere under this.
Here's another shot of that Chrome Dorito. I don't like it, man. Again, it's too long, it's too big, it's too shiny. They try to put a bit of dirt on it, but it still doesn't help. It's way too shiny. It has to be weathered out. The chrome needs to be like it needs to look like a building that's losing most of its chrome. You know what I mean? And have again the decoloring of the building at the same time from the sun hitting it all the time, because it got weathered out. Plus it's near the beach, so I would believe the salt would eat a bit of the salty air of the water would eat a bit the building as well. So that as well should have been included. Now I know other people have stated with this video there's like rendering issues, but that's an Unreal Engine 5 issue, which it's something very common, and honestly it's a pre-release build, so I'm sure they're going to solve that issue before launch, so I'm not worried about that.
Island. The cartographer is a map room that will lead us to Halo's.
So here's a back shot of the new Pelicans design that they've done. I don't know what this is. Is this like an extra thrust on top of the main thrust? I have no idea. It's like green here, but then here it's like a washed out yellow, and here it's like it looks like a thrust, but it's not. I'm not sure, man. No, it's not. I don't know what this is, but yeah, I find that also interesting. They made Reach design CE Chief, and then they decide to say, hey, you know what, we're going to change the design also of the Pelican, and they've done it as well with the Warthog. So again, it's like a blender of everything mixed together, which I don't know why they did that. Okay, so this is what I meant in terms they wanted to make the battle a lot bigger by adding an extra Pelican. When they add an extra Pelican, they also added an extra Spirit that's going to shoot. Now, I do not like this shot. I think this shot looks bad. A close-up of the gun of the Spirit like that. I don't know. As someone who has a passion with movies and TV shows, I'm obsessed with angles of cameras, and I don't like this. It's a bit of a bad shot. I think what would have been a lot more interesting was a scout covenant scouting the three Pelicans coming, or something they could have done that would match the gameplay of the game, would show a grunt with a fuel rod, and the fuel rod would try to shoot down the Pelican, because that is something that we will witness in the gameplay of the game. So I think that would have been a lot better than the Spirit shooting at them. So you see here we have the rendering of the fire effect is still a work in progress, that's for sure. Okay, so here we're going to see a Spirit landing, something we do not see in the original CE cut. Another thing we'll talk about is here. Again, this is again probably another AI art design, and I don't like it. The previous structure looked a lot more freaky, while retaining that futuristic look. That makes you question, what is this? This is, I don't know what this, I mean, you still have this, what is this structure? But again, look how shiny it is. It doesn't show history to it. The previous Halo CE, man, a 2001 game, had weathering right down here, the leg, basically the foot of the structure, where you see the salt that ate the color around the structure. That's a nice design choice, and for 2001, that was pretty impressive. Here, however, they removed it. It's everything is shiny. It's as if the building was just built today. I think that's a big problem. And again, I know a lot of people have mentioned the whole weathering issue with the For Honor structures. I hope Halo Studios will take that in note and fix it, because it looks to be something that's a problem throughout the whole game, not just Silent Photographer. No, we have not seen the other campaigns, but seeing that all these For Honor structures are all shiny shows a pattern. And when you have an early pattern like this, you have a good assumption to assume that all the structures are shiny, which is a big problem. All right, let's continue. Okay, so in this scene, we see the spirit blow up by the Pelican shooting at it. It looks cool, don't get me wrong, but this is a big problem though. This is something that nobody's talking about, and I think it should have attention to it. So when you add stuff in the cinematic mode, you have to make sure that we see it also in the gameplay mode. So this spirit that we see blown up, I expect to see it on fire on the ground when I play in the sandbox. If I do not see it in the sandbox, then it ruins the continuity of what I just witnessed in the cinematic clip. Could you imagine if we've done something like this in a movie where you see a skyscraper collapse and the main character goes outside out of the metro station to wonder what was that vibrating sound, and when he goes out, there's no skyscraper that collapsed. Everything is all nice and tidy. That doesn't make sense, right? Everybody would call that out and say like, hey man, you guys made a big mistake here. You just showed something blow up, collapse, but now we don't see it anymore in the next establishing shot. Why is that? Well, same thing with this game, and we see this multiple times in this very clip, which is a big problem. We see literally a spirit blow up on the beach, and when we go further, I'm gonna show you guys afterwards. When we go into the sandbox in the beach, we don't see that spirit, which is a big problem. I'm not sure if the cinematic, the people working on the cutscene are communicating well with the people doing the gameplay, creating the sandbox. But right now, this screams to me of let's add something to make it more bombastic and cool, but not think of it afterwards how that would affect the sandbox, which is a big issue. And we see this so many times in this gameplay trailer, which I'm really worried, because this is already really, really bad and atrocious in my opinion. You cannot add cool things and then not show it afterwards, or else people are going to be like, where is it? That doesn't make sense. And if that's what it is just on this gameplay trailer, on this mission alone, could you imagine all the other missions where, for instance, the library, they said they made a lot of changes. Could you imagine the lack of continuity in that mission, because they have this mindset of thinking we're going to add things just for the sake of it, just because it looks cool, but not implement it into the cutscene or in the sandbox. That would be a gigantic problem. So all right, so I have an issue with his visor here. I think it would have been a lot cooler if... I love the gold, don't get me wrong, but I think the visor should reflect what Chief is seeing. So I would love to see the Pelican here on fire based on the reflection of his visor. I think that would have been cool. It would show... And already Chief doesn't speak much in general, so I think it would be really nice they use his visor to show us what Chief sees. Obviously, we know he's seeing the Pelican that's catching on fire, but still, I think it would be a nice little touch to add that into the visor. That's something else that people haven't mentioned, and I know that might look like a nitpick, but trust me, every detail matters to make something perfect. And when something is perfect, it's what makes people want to talk about it and replay the game for a long period of time. Okay, so I have two big issues here. So again, another thing where they said we're going to add something cool just to make the battle look bigger, so that makes it cooler. I'm fine with that, but if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna show a third pelican and that pelican is now crashing, I want to see that pelican crash into the sandbox. Now, to those telling me, hold on, man, that pelican that you see on fire, that's the pelican we see later in the gameplay. No, it is not. That's actually a fourth pelican that came as backup later on just to give massive weapons that Cortana called in. Oh, that's my dog. So, we do not see that pelican in the sandbox. I think that's a big problem. Again, lack of continuity with the cutscene and the gameplay. I think that's a big problem. It just, when I see developers just adding things just for the sake that it looks cool without thinking the purpose behind it on how that would affect the game, I think that's a big problem. It's a bit incompetent in my opinion. Another thing here, again, we see a very shiny Forerunner structure. Now this mimics a lot more the original structure, and I think the design of it is pretty good. However, again, I don't like the shininess. It should be weathered down. Again, man, these are structures that's been here for thousands of years. Maybe it's just not finished because, again, it's a work in progress. But something tells me that they thought, oh, let's make it nice and shiny just for the sake of it looking cool. But they're not thinking that these structures have been here for thousands of years. So we want to see them old, weathered down, etc. One thing I could say positive, however, of this whole scene is the design of the grunts. I think the grunts look fantastic. The grunts look pretty good. Now, again, I would have preferred the grunts shooting down this pelican with the fuel rods. I think that would have been a lot more impactful for what we would see later in the gameplay. Again, you see how I'm thinking here? I am thinking, how would something affect the gameplay and how could it relate to it? We know in the gameplay some fuel rod covenant shot down the pelican later down the road, right? That would why don't you show that in this in the cutscene just to make them connected? You see those grunts that shot it down, you'll be able to kill those grunts later. I think that's really good. I think that's how it should be. And again, if I showed a pelican on fire crashing, I would make sure I would show that pelican afterwards crashed on one of those extra islands that you guys added, you know? And then maybe we could think, oh, you know what? I could go and check out that pelican for survivors or get equipment from it. Maybe there's like a terminal on some sort of digital iPad or something that I could check out and get more lore into the game if I go check out that pelican that crashed into one of those extra islands you guys added. See how I'm thinking here? I found so many potential ideas just for this clip right here that you guys didn't thought of, because in the end you just thought of adding something cool without thinking long term what you can do for the game. Let's continue. So this looks great. Look at the blood gushing. I think the blood looks fantastic. This is something that they showed off and they were proud to showing off, is the gore inside Halo C, which is awesome because CE was known for gore. It's an amateur game and they're bringing back M for mature, which I'm very happy. Something that 343 had a disease to not do. They would keeping the game for teen, which was a big mistake. I'm glad we're going back to M, man. And I hope all the next Halo games will all be M for mature, because it's a mature game. It's a game for adults, and honestly, shooting evil aliens and seeing their blood gush out is just awesome. So destruction and blood, I'm all for it. Now this is freaking awesome. I love the fact that they made Echo 419 a character instead of just a voice that you would hear in the background. I think she looks fantastic. And look here, man, they kept the original design of Halo 2 and Halo C Anniversary from, I think it came out in 2010, Halo C Anniversary. I might be wrong, let me guys know on that. But look at that, man, she looks fantastic. I think she looks awesome, and I'm really excited and looking forward to the other scenes that they added her in, because I'm sure this is not the only moment we're going to see Echo 419. All right, so first thing I want to mention is actually hold on. Let's okay. We're gonna pause it to this. Okay. So first thing I want to say is I think the assault rifle looks amazing. Assault rifle, I think this is the best design yet of the assault rifle. I think it looks fantastic. I love the sharpness of it, the coloring on the rifle itself. I think it looks phenomenal. This is the best assault rifle design I've ever seen so far, and honestly, props to you guys, Halo Studios, for that. I think it looks really nice. So well done on that. Now on to some things I have criticism on. Criticism number one is the HUD. It's atrocious. There's way too much going on. What are these lines down here for? I know. I guess you guys are trying to emphasize. Look, this is the design of his visor. But honestly, man, you don't need to do that. Don't do that. Keep it clean. People don't want it, and I've seen a lot of other people mention about the HUD. They don't like it, and I don't blame them. I don't think it's nice. Remove the line here. Another thing I think is stupid, and this is stupid, is the fact that you have to remind us RT is to shoot. Y is to switch weapons. LB is to throw a grenade. This is something you need to be told once on the tutorial in the Pillar of Autumn, and that's it. And as an option, everybody knows how to shoot a gun in first-person shooter games. Why do you need to have it permanent in your HUD? That's insane to me. Like, you don't need to do that. You could remove that. Why do I need a line here as well? That's all because of the silly RT button to remind us on how to shoot. Remove that. Make the AR more over here. Bring this more on the side. Same for here with the grenade. Remove the stupid line. Remove the LB and push the grenades more on the side. That way you have a way cleaner HUD. People want the most cleanest HUD as possible so you can see more of the game. Also, there's too much going on, and that's the problem here. Some people had an issue that they put the motion tracker on top instead of the bottom. I don't mind that personally. Apparently, you could change the HUD to the older version of the HUD, but it still doesn't look exactly like the Halo CE one. Which, why would you do that? I think that's a big missed opportunity. If we have the opportunity to go back to the older HUD, I think it should look exactly like the older HUD, which the shield is up here and it's smaller, the HUD is down here, the grenade and the gun is up there. So yeah, man, you guys know what to do. Most people, you want to please the fan base, listen to us. I think these are very valid arguments. My third valid argument, actually no, my second on this clip, is the new objective. Personally, this is an amateur game. We are adults. The fact that you're reminding us how to shoot, the fact that you're telling us to clear the beach landing from hostiles, I mean, it's all common sense, man. We don't need mommy. Are we also going to have mommy hold our hand and telling us where to go? Really? Is there also a button to make the gun shoot for you and you just press in, the character just plays for us? Like, what is this, man? We're adults. This is an amateur game. Amateur is literally 17 and over, or I think, if I'm correct, or 18 and over. Whatever, it's for adults, clearly, or late teenagers. We don't need to be reminded how to shoot. We don't need to be reminded what the objective is. We heard what the person said. We know what to do. And even if the person didn't say it, it's common sense to kill the enemy what's in front of us, right? The HUD literally says these are enemies. We know who to kill. We don't need to be told what to do. So remove that. Could you imagine how interesting it would be to make the player figure out what to do without having the game telling you what to do? You know, it's not like we're playing a gigantic RPG where, okay, I understand we need to have some sort of hints on where to go. But this, however, all we need to do is hear the objective, and that's it. If the player did not hear the objective, too bad for them. And honestly, that makes it more fun. If I didn't hear what the person said, if I don't hear Echo 419 telling us, giving them hell, then oh well, I mean, or Katana telling me what to do, then oh well, I think that makes it fun. I'd be like, okay, I guess I have to figure it out on my own, and I'm fine with that. So remove the new objective stuff. You guys are not going to do that because honestly, not a lot of people are talking about it and they're not thinking of it. That's why they're so focused on other things, like for instance, the assault rifle not being 60 rounds instead of 32, which to me, again, that's something I don't mind because all the other Halo games had 32 rounds starting from Halo 2. But again, I understand where you guys are coming from because the studio said we're going to respect the original game as much as possible. But yet they do a change which changes the entire sandbox of the game. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. Why would you make a promise and then not keep it? I don't understand this. I don't understand the logic at all behind this. Keep the assault rifle 60 rounds. Like that, people shut up and they don't get angry at you. And why would you even nerf the handgun? The most iconic gun of Halo C is literally the assault rifle and the handgun. And you changed both of them. Why? I don't understand. What makes that fun? I don't understand, man. I really don't understand. So a lot to say just on this scene because I was able to talk about the handgun, the assault rifle, the new objective, the HUD itself. Again, here we have that shiny, ugly structure. And look, guys, as I told you, there's no broken spirit on the beach. They showed a spirit that blew up in the clip, but then they don't show it in the sandbox. I don't get it. Why would you show it in the first place? Other than just making it look cool and then look silly afterwards. Literally, all you have to do is add the spirit on fire over there. Just like I told you to add the pelican previously that should crash on one of the islands and we should be able to go to those islands. Whatever, man. They're playing it too safe and I don't like it so far. That's why I said we deserve better because look, we're just at 1 minute of the gameplay and I've mentioned so many things that I don't like already, more than what I like, which is a big issue. We could talk about how beautiful the graphics is in general. Yes, that's really nice, but again, those are things we should expect from a remake. If you cannot do the bare minimum for the remake, you should not make a remake at all. Because what's the point? And honestly, doing just the bare minimum is not enough to make a game sell. Yes, it could sell well or decent, but then people are going to stop playing for it for 1 month, which is a giant problem. What you should do is do the bare minimum and then adding things into the game that would make it a lot more different without damaging the lore and the gameplay mechanics. What else can I talk about? Okay, yeah, so we have the shield here. So they removed the med packs. Why would you do that, man? Why would you remove the med packs? Could you tell me why would you remove the med packs? That removes so much replayability in the game. Like, that's what makes Heroic and Legendary so fun. The fact that you have to look for med packs, making sure your health is in check without doing something reckless. Now all I have to wait is for 2 shields to load. Why? What's the point? At this point, why would you even add this? Why don't you just keep a giant shield like Halo 3 or Halo 2 and that's it? Halo Reach brought back the med packs and they were so fun. Why would you remove that? I don't get it, man. Whatever. At least you guys kept 4 grenades instead of 2. Which, what an odd choice considering everything else you guys changed. God, it sounds like shit. This is something else I want to mention, is the fact that all the sounds of the guns sound like crap. Like, they sound like fart versions of themselves. Why? Listen, man, I give you guys so much props by saying the assault rifle is the best looking assault rifle I've seen so far in Halo. But at the same time, you guys made the worst sounds possible in any Halo game. Like, I'm being real here. The sounds like shit. Like, it sounds like wet farts of themselves. Everybody's mentioning this, so I really hope you guys are gonna change that. I mean, if they have common sense, I'm pretty sure they're gonna change it. They're gonna make the handgun sound like a Desert Eagle and not like a wet fart of himself. Oh my. Grunts look fine to me. I mean, it's the Halo Reach design of the grunts. Um, Also, if you're going to make the cinematic more upscale in battle, why don't you do also the sandbox more upscale in battle? I know I mentioned the Spirit already and the Pelican not shown in the sandbox once crashed, but why is it exactly the same amount of enemies from a 2001 game? You think Bungie put this amount because they thought it's perfect, man? Dude, they did what they can with what they had at the time. But as you see their later on Halo games, the battles are bigger. Why is it the same amount of Covenant? You guys could have added like at least like another 6 extra enemies or 7 or something, just so the battle feels bigger. You could have added maybe what's the name of that Covenant species? The one with the shield there. Jackal. You could have added a jackal hiding and jump onto a marine and eat it with its jaw mouth, because their jaws, they look like dinosaur mouths, you know? Like, that would have been cool. Like, that could have been a little thing you could have added into the sandbox without affecting the lore or the gameplay, and it could make the fan base who have played these missions a million times say, oh my god, that's something new. I wonder what else is new. You know what I mean? You could add... Again, man, you guys are playing too safe. And imagine you could have the option to even save that marine if you wanted to, if you were quick enough. That would have been fun. It would make someone replay that mission just to save that marine. But you guys don't add any of these things. You guys play way too safe, and I don't like it. Look at the water, man. I think the water is one of the most beautiful things in this game. So I have 2 things to say here. The water is phenomenal. Probably the best looking water design I've seen so far in a video game. Look at the splash that it goes on the rocks over here. I think that is incredible amount of detail. Something that we don't see much in games unless it's from a cinematic scene. And this is not a cinematic scene. This is gameplay where we see water hitting the rocks. I think that's really cool. I think that's phenomenal. Another thing I want to mention is look at the number on the gun. The screen on it, look at the lighting of the sun hitting it, and we see all that detail. It looks dirty. The sun flashing on it makes us have a hard time looking at how many numbers left on the gun. A bullet, sorry. I think that is so cool, and it's such well amount of detail. It's just phenomenal, and it looks like as if like there's a screen protector on it. It's just really cool, and I really love that amount of detail. So this is what I mean about art choices. They decide to keep the Front Runner design nice and chromy and clean, while they made stuff like this all in detail. So, and look at the blood, the detail is it as well. It's so gory, I love it. But again, man, there's some things they do fantastic in this game, and there are other things where they miss the mark. Sorry. Again, the sound of the assault rifle, it sounds like a wet fart of itself, and this is something we're gonna see with almost every gun. Like, why is this? Like, it has to sound like I'm shooting with a chain gun. Like it's bursting out. That's what made it so fun with Halo C assault rifle. It was like a long burst gun. Loading animation is perfect. I don't mind. So this is something else they could have done as well, just to revolutionize the game a bit more is I would have preferred if everybody was more tactical than just, hey, I'm right in front of you. You know, like it feels like these crappy Hollywood movies where just everybody's stupid. They're just in front of each other shooting and they don't know what tactical is. Like it would be cool if you're able to like lean on into the tree trunk and like you could shoot the enemies. It would be nice to see the Covenant. Look at that, man. They literally have these things over here and they're just out in the open shooting. It would be nice if they could be more tactical, hide behind what you know, anything that could cover them so they can shoot better. Same for the Marines. I understand sometimes you want to charge to just kill them all, but like in this case they're just wide in the open acting, everybody's acting so stupid. Look at that, man. No weathering at all. It's really bad. Like they added a little bit of sand, but it's so like bare bones. Like they could have done so much more. I want the whole thing over here all like old and fucked. Okay, so I want to mention sprint. I'm glad they put it as an option. I think that's great. To those making it such a big deal, I don't mind, man, but I understand there's one argument I do understand about sprint is the fact that apparently you could sprint non-stop without getting tired. That's a big problem. I think that's stupid. Like, I understand the whole common sense of these are super soldiers, they should be able to sprint. I get you. But don't forget, they are running on these super heavy armors, and the fact they're super soldiers is the fact they could wear those armors. Already the fact they could wear those armors shows already that they are a super soldier. It justifies enough they're a super soldier. They don't have to run from point A to Z with unlimited sprint. I think that's stupid. I think what they should have done is an option to run or not, which they did. But if you could run, it has to have a limit. Like he has to slow down and breathe a bit, then he could start running again. And maybe if he does it multiple times, he doesn't sprint anymore, he jogs because he's tired. I think that's something that would show more realism into the game, and it would just make the gameplay so much better. Because if you could just run like this the whole damn time from A to Z, you might miss some things, or you might just it would get boring. A lot of people, I understand there's a lot of people out there, they want to go through everything really fast as possible. But when you give them that choice, they don't realize that when they do that, it doesn't give them the full experience of the game. So I would prefer their sprint, but with limitations. And be creative. Add jogging, not just sprint. Like if he sprints too much, he's tired and he just jogs, and he has to like just walk for a good amount of time before he's able to sprint again. So I think that would make the game so much more creative. Also, you have to change the jogging and the running animation, because he's just doing this. I think depending on the gun, his movements should be different. So if he's running with an assault rifle, I want him to run like this, not like this the whole damn time. I think that's silly. If he's running with an energy sword, I want the energy sword to be turned off, and then he's running. And then when he stops, the energy sword goes back on. I think that would be cool little animations that you guys could differ. I love the shield, by the way, with the jackal. I think that looks fantastic. And look at the lighting that reflects on the ground from the plasma round. I think that looks fantastic. That's all real Engine 5 energy right here, and I love it, and I'm for it. I think the plasma handgun looks perfect. The sound is fantastic, and even the burst sound of it is phenomenal. The shield is good too. Very well done. Grenade was well done as well.
Area secure.
Affirmative. Echo 419 inbound. Somebody go to a warthog.
Okay, so this is something else I want to talk about. So remember when I told you guys they just add stuff just to make it look cool? It's not just with the clips; it's also in the sandbox as well. So for instance, this is what I mean. What is this, man? Don't get me wrong; it looks really cool. I think it makes the ring look super cool, seeing a gigantic sort of Piranha structure like this. But the thing is, what is it? Is it just for design? Because if it is, that's a gigantic problem. And my bet is it is just for design. Because guess what? The new missions that they added into this game is just prequels, which I think is a gigantic mistake. I think it should have been one prequel and then one added mission in, into the center of the story, which could have been here, and the rest could have been the campaigns, like just extended or added things to it. That's what they should have done. Diversify your options here. Don't make it all into one basket. And because of that, listen, man, I love the fact that you can have extra missions with Sarge Johnson. I think that's cool. But all in, as prequels, that's a big mistake, man. And two, like the fact that you guys added this and we can't go to it is such a missed opportunity. Like, why did you do it in the first place? Just so it looks cool? Well, congrats. Like, it's just making people frustrating, and they say, well, I can't go to this. They just added stuff like this. This looks important, man. If I was the first person, if this was my first Halo game, and I see this, I would assume that's where the control tower is. Because what the heck is this, man? This is a lot of For Honor development right here. But we can't go to it? Why? I'm pretty sure the Covenant would be over there right now to figure out what it is. And I'm pretty sure Cortana would tell us, hey, we should go here. Looks important to me. So I think that's a big problem right here. And honestly, it's a disrespect to the art designers of Bungie, because whenever Bungie shows something in Halo, especially in Halo 2, is a good example of it. Usually, if we see something, it's always deliberate, because usually we will at some point go there or we've already been there. For instance, in Halo 2, when we go to the mission Regret, there's a gigantic structure, it's a gigantic wall, and we see a storm over there. Everybody questions what that is. What is it? And guess what? The next mission is called the library, and that's what that structure is. That's where that storm is located, where the library is. When we see High Charity in the air with all the Covenant ships, guess what? We're able to go to High Charity. Not just showing something that's cool, they're showing something that we will be able to go there and play in. Halo 3, when we landed on Halo, when we look up into the sky, we see High Charity all crashed up and broken. That's to show to us you've been there. It's not something just so it looks cool. We also go there. So this has to be somewhere we can go, or else it's just really dumb. Look at this, man. It's all greenery here with no development, and then you have this gigantic structure that you can't go to. And that's a big missed opportunity. So, epic fail on that end. Hold on, guys. I just have to reply to one text message. Okay, so let's go on. We're at 2.23 out of 13 minutes, and I've already crucified the game.
You know our motto, we deliver.
Again, man, congrats for clearing the objective. Like, okay, thank you. I mean, I get it. These are checkpoints, but just say checkpoints. Why do you have to say this? Like, it's, again, I don't like it. I'm an adult, man. I don't need to have mommy hold my hand. Another thing I want to mention is the skybox. I love the fact we could see the planet now really well. Before we couldn't see it well in Halo CE. However, I wish the sky was a little bit more dark and we saw more of the stars, just to show that, you know, this is not a planet. This is a Halo ring with an artificial atmosphere. I think that would have been a little bit more cooler. I could consider that as a nitpick though, but still, again, everything has to be perfect in my eyes. I'm a perfectionist. Okay, so this is the new Warthog. I don't like it. I don't like it because of two things. I don't like the wheels. The rims are, I hate it. It destroys the lore of the Warthog. Why am I saying this? Because in the lore, it is tired air wheels for the Warthog. It's tired air tires, okay? This is airless tires that we would see like in NASA or whatever. They're very delicate. I have a big problem with this. I don't like it. It goes against the lore. And again, you change things just to change. But again, if you're going to say this is to respect Halo CE, this is going against it, man, because Halo CE had air tires, not airless tires. Two, I don't like the rims. The rims are fixed rims that don't turn. They're rims like this, and there's like a thing inside that makes the wheel spin, but this stays in place. Why would you do that? That goes against the whole lore of the wheels of the Warthog. And I don't like it either. I don't like things that don't move, and when things are way too futuristic and they go against the logic of things. I mean, it's not it's not that it goes against logic. It's just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being biased here, but I just don't like it. I would prefer the rims turned with the aired wheels, not airless wheels with fixed rims. I don't know why you guys did that. I think that's really silly. Again, find the entrance of the mat room. We know the mission is called the Silent Photographer. We know the mission is to go stop the Covenant from finding out how to fire the Halo ring. Like, we know all this stuff. Why do you have to remind us what to do? We know what to do. Again, amateur game, not a T for teen. Even for teen, they don't really need this every single step. And we shouldn't have it at all. I don't know, man. Make it an option maybe. But, like, people... I want gamers to, like, be forced to think, you know? Like, if things are just too easy for them, they're gonna get bored. I don't like the back of the Warthog either. It looks like a sticker, the LED lights in the back. Like, I don't like it. The way it's designed here, how it's placed. This could be a better design. Make the same design like the Warthogs that Bungie did in terms of the back, because this looks like just a sticker that you would see like on a Lego toy, you know. Now they did add the back bumper here, so a fourth player could sit on it, because now we could do 4-player co-op. I think that's a very cool idea, and that's something added into the game that actually benefits the game without breaking the lore. See, it's not that hard. You guys did it, and the fact you guys can do it is why I'm so harsh on you guys on criticism, because I know you guys can do it. Look, right here we could have had a gigantic broken spirit. Right here we could have had weathered down foot of the structure. It would have just been cooler, you know. Maybe I could have went inside that spirit and took some sort of special Covenant gun as a choice. But you guys don't think about those things, and it sucks. Maybe there could have been like a terminal inside that spirit where you see an elite speak and telling its units what to do. It's just little fun things to look around and search. And you guys did not add anything of this, because from all the gameplays we see from the Silent Photographer that you guys try to replicate, there's no Easter eggs, there's no terminals. Why did you remove terminals? Halo Anniversary CE had terminals, and that was one of the things people loved about it, is the fact that I could find terminals and learn more about the lore with these brand new beautiful clips that they added, which just enriched more of the lore without affecting it, and it made people replay the missions just to find the terminals. So I don't know why you guys did that. Imagine if I was walking and I saw a cave on this island, and I go inside the cave and I see like a writing, Covenant Forerunner writing, and then I have to go online to try to Google it to know what that writing is. Like, that would be so cool. Those are things I could find. Imagine I could go into another cave and I see a drawing of a flood species, and it makes us question, what is that? Is that something that I'm going to see later on? What is it about? Is that the Forerunners? What is that? You know, it's all things you guys could have talked about. And look, Bungie even added like monkeys in the first mission of Halo 3. It's so popular. People love to replay that mission just to go see those little monkeys. You guys could add stuff like that. It makes people want to replay the game. And one thing that you guys removed from the previous anniversary games is the fact we could not go back and forth with the graphics. Why? That was something so unique of what made the Halo remasters. No other remaster did stuff like that, and you guys removed it? That's laziness. Imagine now look at this water, man. Look at the details. Look at the details of the grass. Could you imagine comparing the graphics of 2001 with the graphics of 2025? It would be insane, the difference, and it would be so cool, and people would replay it just to see, oh, I wonder how the new things you guys added into the game would look like with the old graphics, or I want to see how the graphics look on the structure that I missed out. You know, it wouldn't cause replayability. People would replay the game just to compare the graphics. People would play the game just to play it on the original graphics, and then replay the game again with the newer graphics. I don't know why you guys removed that feature. The fact we could go back and forth with the graphics, it shocks me. Really disappointed in that. At least the chain gun looks good on the Warthog.
Let's go find the map room. That will show us the location of Halo's control center.
Also, I love the fact that now the Marines could drive the Warthog and you can shoot it with it. That's pretty cool. Again, that's the bare minimum though. I'm not going to say congratulations and make this a giant positive point to mention, because that's something I would expect you guys can do. Same for the tired tracks on the floor. People are saying, look how cool that is. We should give them props for that. That we see in plenty of games. In the remaster, the whole point is to show off the graphics. So if they haven't done that, you should be rattled. You should be pissed off. I'm not going to give them a congratulations for the bare minimum of like, oh wow, tire tracks.
I've been able to pinpoint the main facility by cross-referencing Covenant survey data and religious texts. It's on this island.
We see the Warthog go jump off like that rock, and the Spartans weren't like, yeah! Why? That was so fun. It gives so much character to the Marines than just being NPCs, and the fact that you remove that feature sucks. I want to see the Marines get all happy when we do that. We literally see that in Halo Infinite. Why did you guys remove that? I don't understand. You guys bring back what Bungie did and then you remove it again. I don't understand that logic.
I've marked the entrance with a nav plate.
Look at that, man. Not only do you have an objective that tells you what to do, you even have a fucking pinpoint that tells you how where to go exactly. Like, again, man, it's mommy holding your hand. At this point, just make me press a button on my controller and I'll just watch you guys play the game for me, because that's what it is. It's an amateur game and you guys are treating us like dumb, low IQ kids. Like, whatever, man. And look at this giant rock over here. Why can't I go to that rock? Why can't I climb all here and find stuff, you know? Make people want to discover, make people stay longer in each mission so people can play your game longer. I don't understand why you guys don't do stuff like that. It's common sense. You want to find ways to make people stay longer in your product, not skim through it and then, all right, I played it on board, on to the next game. Look how dumb the NPCs are. You remember when I told you guys they don't go for cover, they're just dumb? Look at here, man. The elite just stands there and waits to be run over. Like, why would you make the NPCs so useless? In Halo C, the NPCs were smarter. The elite was tough to run over. He would dodge everything. I don't know why you guys did this. Like, there's so much questions on why you did it, but in the end, it's just incompetence and laziness. You guys need to understand here. If this game fails, your whole studio is out. It's finished. I know Microsoft have given you guys a lot of privileges, but they're not gonna mess around. This is your final shot, and if you want to be able to do Halo 2 anniversary, Halo 3 anniversary, and do Halo 7, you guys better hit every single mark on this game. And right now, I see a lot more cons than pros.
Here, in the cliff wall. The silent cartographer is somewhere.
Again, look how shiny this is, man. It's way too shiny, and there's also a bit too much design on it as well. We do hear Cortana's voice has been redone. I think that's pretty cool, so props to that. I didn't think they would do that, so I'm glad that they did, because she does sound a bit better. However, I have...
Inside that facility. They're already inside. You have to get in there and stop them before they learn the location of the control center.
Okay, so I have a problem with her being more emotional though, and her her when they redid her voice. Why I have a problem with her being more emotional? It's not because I'm against women being having emotions. I have no issue with that. What I have an issue though is that in Halo C they deliberately made her emotionless throughout the whole game. Without, sometimes she likes to be sarcastic, sure, and likes to put on jokes, but the only time we see her get worried and have this sort of tone was when she found out what was hidden inside the Halo ring, which was the flood. That's when she got scared, and that was like a giant shock to us because it's the first time we see her get worried, and it just added more fear on what is to come on the next mission. It gave us more fear on the flood, on what to worry about. But now, because she's acting this way throughout the whole game, that scene where she freaks out about the flood will not be as special anymore. So I think that's a big problem, and I think they missed the mark here. They overdid it with her tone throughout the whole game. Because look, she's being emotional in the silent photographer, which she shouldn't. She knows who Chief is. This is not a gigantic invasion of the Covenant at war. It's him just going and do an objective to stop them from entering the control room. So, I mean, once the people are dead in there, that's it. They don't know. It's not something to worry about compared to the flood or Covenant invasion. That's my point. Oh, okay, so the plasma rifle sounds like wet farts, and it's probably the worst one out of them all. It sounds really, really bad. I don't like this as well. What is this? Why did they change the front? It's just awful. I hate it. I like the fact that this glows and it gets redder as you shoot more. That respects the old design. However, I don't like the sound. Put back the original sound because it's 1,000 times better than this crap. And change the front of it as well. I don't know what this is. It's like you guys give it a nose. It's awful. Again, the lighting is fantastic. That looks incredible. I'm going to talk about the inside of the Forerunner structure. I think it's overdone. It's more... It's weird. Like, it's a mixture of Bungie's design with Halo 4 design in a way. I don't know how else to put it. I think it's a bit overdone. I like this because this is meant to be like an art piece, but having this along the entire walls and also the pillars, I think it's too much. I think you guys should have done this sort of design like on the walls and then keep the pillars simple, or vice versa. Also, it's too much. It's too overdone because look, it's also like this on the floor. So like, man, the Forerunners, like, I feel really bad for the people that built this, man, and for the architect as well. Like, jeez, all the lines they had to do. Look at the lighting though. I think this looks really nice. It's like smoke or foggish smoke. I think that looks fantastic. Very well done. Now let's proceed. I like the sound of the shield, by the way. It's the exact same sound of the shield regenerating from Halo 1, which is whoom. I think that looks really good. Sounds really good. Again, look at the brightness reflecting on everything. I think that's very cool.
The Covenant are putting up a real fight. The cartographer must be here. My analysis indicates that the map room should be at the bottom floor of this facility. Let's keep going inside. Don't let them lock the doors.
Look at the gore. I love it.
Interesting. I underestimated the Covenant's understanding of Halo's subsystems.
See again what I mean in terms of over design. They did a whole design here, then another design on top of the design, then another design on top of the other design of the design. It's just way too much going on over here. I think here it could have been simple while keeping the design as it is, and then here simple again, and then do a design like back and forth instead of the whole thing being the same. It's way too done. There's too much on for the eye, you know.
The security override to get this door open.
The glass is cool though. Looks very well done.
Cortana to keys. Go ahead, Cortana.
Again, man, find the interest of the mat room. Thank you, Mom.
Have you found the control center? Negative, Captain. The
Like,
Covenant
find the security door override. Thanks, Mom.
our progress. We can't proceed unless we can disable this installation's security system.
I love that they keep the cave here. That's nice.
Understood. We're still en route to the objective. I may be out of contact when we get there. Here are your orders. I want you to use any means necessary.
See how this spins and the rim stays the same? That's deliberate. It's not a work in progress that these are not turning. That's deliberate. I don't like it.
Force your way into the facility and find Halo's control center. Good luck, people.
See, this is what I mean by missed opportunity. We just saw that Warthog hit on the ground here. Now, I'm not talking about the damage of the Warthog. I know that's something you could turn on because it's an option. You could either make the Warthog invincible like Halo CE, or you can make it damageable. So I'm fine with that as long as you... I'm going to turn it on, of course, because I love realism. But here's something that I don't understand why they didn't do it. So they made the effort to have tire tracks on the sand, right? But now we just saw the Warthog crash into the sand. It would have been so cool to see a smoke of sand just like poof right in front of the Warthog. And look, as the wheels are turning, I want more smoke of the sand around the wheels and just around the Warthog, because that's what would happen. I don't know why they didn't add that. Again, like, they do things that are so good, but at the same time they miss such obvious opportunities here.
Keys in.
Let's move down the beach. Keep an eye out for any unusual structures that could house the security.
Like, there's smoke, but it's so tiny, and that's not how it would look like. It needs to be a little bit toned up. And oh shoot. Is it still recording? Yeah, it's still recording. Okay. No, because last time when the screen got smaller, the recording just automatically stopped, which I'm not sure why. But now it's recording, so it's fine. Okay, so yeah, I mean, when the Warthog hits on the ground, having all that smoke just like poof everywhere, I think that would have been cool. Would have been a nice detail. I think what would have been also cool is add like small trees that you could like run over with the Warthog, and then you see the tree just fall. I think that would have been pretty cool, and it would look nice with the Warthog getting damaged. Again, it's just things I haven't thought about, and they should have thought about if they want to make the game a lot more advanced than the 2001 one. Like here, you could see the grass spawning here. But again, that's a work in progress. They can fix that. But look at the shape of the island. Like imagine if I was able to look, and it looks a little bit deliberate that you could like cross there. But the thing is, you can't. There's like a invisible wall, and I think that's a big problem. I wish we were actually able to go in that. Could you imagine if I go in here and I find a super weapon or an Easter egg or a hint for a puzzle or something else, like a little side quest that doesn't affect the main mission, but like it's a little thing that you just discovered just to get an achievement, or again or again writing on the wall to show the flood, or forerunner writing on what this on anything regarding the lore, like it could mention Guildford 3 Guilty Spark, you know, anything like there's so many ideas they could add just in that little tiny island and make the gameplay longer, but they didn't, which is unfortunate. I love that looks like an ODST, but it's not. No, it's just a normal marine. I thought it was an ODST for a second.
It looks like there is a path into the interior of the island.
We're gonna fast forward a bit on some things because it's just the same thing.
Down, man. Triggers down.
I love the blood everywhere. Alright, so this is another big critique and I have, and even a Bungie developer had made a critique on this, or old Bungie developer. They removed the tree here, which kept you from bringing the Warthog into this segment of the map. Now I know people are going to tell me you could still do it if you throw a grenade or if you jammed the Warthog enough, but guess what? When you did that, it was fun, wasn't it? Well, they removed that, so the fun to try to make the Warthog go into somewhere you're not supposed to bring it is gone, and the challenge behind not having a Warthog here and go on foot to hit the hunters is also gone. So that really sucks. I don't know why they did that. That's a big crucial thing that they changed in here that changes the entire dynamic of this mission a bit. And to say that we're respecting the old game and then doing something like this, I mean, again, man, are you really respecting it? Because this is something crucial here that you just changed. So I don't understand why they did that. And this is just one change from what they're showing us. Could you imagine the whole campaign? Imagine the stuff that they could change, and it could be worse than this, you know. So it worries me. Maybe the library, even though it's repetitive, what if it's worse than what was originally, you know? It worries me. Now, to those who are saying like, oh, who cares if you could bring the Warthog here to face the hunters? The hunters are easy. Well, that's the thing. That's something I wanted to change in Halo C as a surprise to players, because look, this is the third remake. The second remake of Halo C. It's the third time gamers are going to play it, to the fan base anyways, and I mean, we don't want everything to be replicated, because if you replicate everything, well, the gameplay of it anyways, nothing feels fresh and original anymore. You could have added a twist to the hunters. Bungie made the hunters a lot tougher to kill in the later Halo games because they realized they were a joke in Halo C, especially with the handgun. What you could have done is you could have made them slightly taller, and you could have added a little twist. So for instance, if you tried to blow them up with a grenade, they blow up in pieces. However, when you think they're dead, they're not, because the worms, they rejoice together again, and the hunter forms back together into one piece. That could have been a twist that could shock the player, be like, oh my god, I thought he was dead, but he's not. You see the worms come back, so you have to do it a second time to permanently kill them. If it was with other guns, like an assault rifle, it would just take more bullets. That's it. Maybe a bit more bullets than it would usually take to kill a hunter in Halo 3, because they need to be tougher, man, even on easy mode, and feel like something you want to run away with. And the fact that now you can even run away from them, I mean, it just makes it even more easier than it is.
Let's get it going, Marine.
Yeah, they added armor to them, like the fact that now if you shoot on their armor, it doesn't hurt them. That's cool, but that's very minimal for what you can do now. You could sprint away from them, you could bring a warthog and kill them. It's just too easy. And again, why would you change the structure here? I don't understand why you guys changed it. You guys changed basically everything in terms of structure, except one. Now they did add something cool with the hunters though. If you shoot them, you see the worms come off and then like scatter away from the hunter. That's cool, and I'm glad they did that. Like, you could bring the warthog until the end. It's insane. Okay. So I don't mind that you could like aim down your sights. I think that's a cool little element to add, and it just makes the game feel a bit more modern, so I don't mind that at all. I will talk about the Needler though. I don't like the Needler. Why do you like already what made the Needler iconic is the fact that when you shoot, the spikes disappear, and the less spikes you had, you at some point you had to reload. And if that wasn't a clear indicator visually, you also had the number right here. Do I really need also now a screen to tell me how many Needlers left I have? I have literally 3 ways to tell me how much ammo I've left on this gun. Does that make any sense to you? Why did you even add a screen to begin with? Why could it just been nothing and that's it? You guys overly designed this weapon and it sucks. Also, what you could have done is when you reload the spikes, it would have been cool to see like a little frost smoke come off in some of the holes, just to show like this is a deadly cool ass spike. I also think the spikes are too pinkish. I think they could have been a mixture of Halo CE with the modern spikes, just so basically it's pink, but it's also a bit glassy, see-through-ish, if you know what I mean. Structure looks fine here. See what I mean by overly designed? They like the floors, they could have kept the floor like this and then the walls just basic. See, like, okay, so the floor could have been like this, the walls could have been basic. Here it makes sense to have all these lines because there's movable objects here. It's all mechanical. It's a door that opens, or there was a door, I'm not sure, but whatever. Could you imagine now if you had to face those new hunters I told you guys about in this smaller room where they're tougher to kill? Like, it would have been more challenging and more unique.
Use the holo panel to shut down the security system.
This looks nice. Look at the design of the hologram. I think this looks really nice. I really love that, and I love the design here. Keeps the follows the not government, the Forerunner design. I think that looks really nice. Okay, we're gonna talk about this door here. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here for a specific reason. So we have there's two animations on this door. You have the main door, and then you have this rubber thing that they added. I'm not sure why. I don't like it. It's over designed. I do think it should have been just one opening and that's it, because this looks like too much to me. But we'll continue. Now I think this looks really nice. I would have wished there was a bit more smoke, like gluey smoke around the energy sword, just to show like how deadly it is, even though we all know how deadly it is. I think the Elite looks great. People were complaining it doesn't look like CE Elite. Again, that's something they should do a poll on, because I'm no different if it looks like the CE Elite or the Reach Elite. But again, I understand everybody's concern, because they did say they were going to respect Halo CE, but then they do changes like this. So I get how you guys feel. The video is really well done, though.
That should open the door that leads into the main shaft. We need to go to the main facility. Let's head back down the beach.
Mayday! Mayday! Dropship Bravo 22 taking enemy.
Alright, this is something funny I have to mention here. Because we have sprint, could you imagine you just run and you don't even notice the invisible elites? You just see red dots and you're like, what was that? Oh well, doesn't matter. Because in the end, you're just running through the mission. A lot of people are going to do that because they can. And they can because you gave them that capability. So I think that's a big problem. I feel like the room should have like shut down the door, and then you're forced to shoot them, and then you could reopen the door, or at least be able to reopen the door and then escape if you don't want to face them. But at least you are aware there's invisible elites. And the invisible elites, they could have done something more special to them. I don't like the fact you can see where they are even when they're invisible. Like, look, you can see him because he's not really that invisible. It would have been cooler if the effect was more realistic in terms of visibility. And of course, more challenging. Thank you, Mom, for telling me to activate the map even though we know what to do. And thank you for telling me how to get out on somewhere I already knew how to go in. But whatever. We're going to act like this is a really hard maze to get out because we're 4 years old.
Chief, Bravo 22 is bringing us some heavy weapons.
So you see, this is the fourth Pelican, not the third one, because this just crashed. And again, it would have been cool if we saw that third Pelican crash earlier. But you know what? You know what I said earlier when I said I wanted to see the grunts shoot down that third Pelican, because now we see them shooting down the fourth one. And it would have been cool not to say, like, finally I could face those grunts, the ones that we saw that kept shooting down our Pelicans. That would have been cool. That would have been like a nice payback. But they didn't give it to us.
And after I saw we were up against hunters, I thought you could use them.
I like that their air intake blows up just like Halo 3 or Reach. I like the fire animation they added as well. It's not just down here, it's like all here. I really like that. It's very realistic. Sounds so awful, man. I think the rocket launcher is perfect. No criticism on that. I think it looks phenomenal. And also I want to mention that they said they're going to add 9 more weapons. We already know the energy shield and the fuel rod is one of those 9 weapons. So we have 7 left. They will for sure add in the BR rifle, and probably they said they're also going to add in the Needler gun. The Needler BR gun. So we have 5 guns left. They're probably going to put in the flamethrower. I hope they do, because that was a cut gun from the original CE, and we saw it in Halo 3 later on. So I think the flamethrower will be a nice addition, and my bet is the flamethrower will be an addition. They're probably going to put the SMG, so we're down to 3 guns. What those 3 guns could be, we're probably going to have the Sentinel beam gun, basically the beam from the Sentinel that we could pick up once we shoot them. So there's 2 guns left. I don't know what those 2 extra guns can be. It could be anything. It could be a Covenant gun. It could be a Forerunner gun. It could be a human gun. We shall wait and see. But they said it's all guns familiar from the franchise. So who knows? We'll see. My guess is maybe the Spartan laser is one of those two remaining guns. Sound of the rocket launcher is perfect. It's all beautiful here. I'm just gonna skim through this because we know what this is. Okay, so we're just gonna talk about this scene. So I think this scene looks really good. Chief looking around everywhere. Again, the cinematography is really well done here. I really love it. The visor needs some work though. I would love to have him seeing the walls reflecting on his visor. That would have been better. Now, people are complaining that this is not the original sound for this scene. This is deliberate for this test gameplay version of the clip. It's not going to be the official sound because we could hear the official sound from the original CE game playing in the background of this simultaneously. So don't worry, guys. That's something they're going to change later on. Some people even complain they removed the rock for the instead they put plasma Covenant grenades. Honestly, this doesn't bother me. I am completely fine with them putting Covenant grenades. It makes more sense than just a random rock here. And plus, the Covenant does put their grenades like this, and we see that a lot in Halo 3 and Halo 2. So I'm completely fine with this. And we even hear a Bungie developer laughing and say like, "Why is there a rock here?" And then they all laugh. And I guess it's something they didn't thought through it, but I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly fine with the plasma grenades. Chief looks amazing too. I love the little LED lights on his visor. There you go, guys. I mean, that's basically what it is. Campaign Evolve, horrific name, but it is what it is. It is coming to PlayStation. Some people have an issue with that. I don't mind that at all. I'm always open for games to be available for all players out there, and that's what Microsoft is aiming for. But again, I mean, it just puts a bigger risk on Xbox, so make sure, I mean, Xbox is having a hard time right now. Their exclusives are having a hard time right now, so this game better work, man, because if your games are bad and your console is bad, I mean, why are you still in the gaming division at this point, you know? That's basically all I have to say about this whole shot-by-shot video of this trailer. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys don't agree with everything I said, that's completely fine. I get you. Again here, look, as you can see, it's Forerunner structure is all shiny. I like the blue that they added inside, but look, the fact that this is shiny just shows again my point. All the buildings are shiny. I also wanted to mention about the animals in the game. Some people are telling me that you know, Bungie originally wanted to put animals and didn't have time, so they cut that out. However, Halo's Campaign Evolved will have animals, and honestly, I wish they didn't. I know that sounds crazy to say, but honestly, sometimes things are meant to be, and honestly, not having animals inside the Halo ring just benefited the whole atmosphere of the Halo ring. You know, it's something beautiful, but at the same time, it's something that doesn't feel right to be on because of how lonely it is, how artificial it is. Not everything is real. The trees are not really real. The rocks, if you break them, like, you know, like how did all this stuff, you know, like if you dig at some point you'll reach Forerunner artifacts, because in the end it's a fake world. It's a fake world that has a gigantic hidden experiment prison of the Flood, and this gigantic world is also a world to end all worlds. So it's a weapon of terror, and I think not adding animals just makes the map, just makes the ring a lot more creepier. So it's, for me, it sucks that they added animals, but it's not a deal breaker. That's just my last take on it. And again, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you all enjoy it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This is probably one of my first in-depth videos on any trailer or any topic. So yeah, ciao guys, thanks.